Mick Lewis is the man in charge of this game. He had the Brisbane Western Suburbs match the other day. Newcastle then from left to right in the first half. And the Gold Coast working it away from their own line. Gary Belcher is my co-commentator today with Peter Sterling and Paul Vaughton back in Sydney. Gary, you've seen more of Gold Coast than I.
Ray, I've seen them play on a couple of occasions, and very impressive that early season win they had against the Broncos. Another pretty ordinary performance a little over a month ago against Eastern Suburbs. Let's hope they can play as well as they did here a fortnight ago against the Raiders.
Peter Gill it is who plays the ball just outside his own 30-metre line. Newcastle today without three of their regular forwards. And it's upon those forwards that Newcastle so heavily relies. It's kicked down inside the 20-metre line for Robbie O'Davis. And a very good kick and chase by Alan Kempnich.
Well, Ray, that's the sort of play, making your first great debut, you come up with. He's going to be very confident from that. The young fella's got rid of a lot of those early game nerves.
Newcastle have become aware that there's the replay and the performance by the full-back. Newcastle have become aware that coming here to play Gold Coast, for them anyway, is not a guaranteed 2 points.
Well, Ray, we saw the referee there about to say play on for the Knights. He may have got a signal from his touch judge. We see the ball come back. The Newcastle Knights is McCormack, who just juggled that ball forward.
So the Gold Coast with their first opportunity to attack in opposition territory. Bouvang playing on the right wing. Coleman turning it back inside. He was taken out late. I don't know that there was much in it. The touch judges have let it go, so it seems. Tocco inside the 20-metre point, put away by Sargent. Now to the blind, a fairly wide one. Bartram. Bouvang. Held up by Ainscough and Wire. Former Western Suburbs players, now Coleman. And they go to the air, a chance for the Gold Coast. Oh, Robbie O'Davis. That was sensational stuff. And he's still going. O'Davis. Back with Darren Wallens.
Ray really is the key, the man who put Gold Coast in the winning frame a couple of times this year already, Craig Coleman. His kicking game, his passing game is so important for them to be victorious. I've seen them play a few times.
High shot. Penalty will be given to Gold Coast right in front. Sargent comes across. Adam Muir is the player that referee Lewis feels went high.
Well, he's definitely got Tocco there, hasn't he?
Wayne Bartram is one of 6 goal kickers that Gold Coast have used this year. He has the best record, and he still has. Gold Coast get first points in Sunday Night League. 2-0 over Newcastle. Restart time. 2-0 down, Newcastle. Big David Woods lumbers out on the first play for Gold Coast to just inside the 20-metre line. Inside the 10 now against Newcastle, so the penalties running with the Seagulls. There's no doubt the penalty was a real one. Bartram has been kept busy, takes the kick for line. Now, did he get a touch? Yes, he did. Now, the scrum will form, but the attacking side, Gold Coast, will have the feet and the loose head. Good work, Robbie O'Davis there. Scrum work by Craig Coleman. Gill at 5'8". Scarden got good ball from Vowles, who's in support and with the ball now. Adrian Vowles, the winger's in to score. David Bouvang. fastest try you'll ever see in rugby league. Backs on backs, and Gold Coast passing and catching.
We see from the scrum here that Newcastle sliding defence, they've showed them the outside, and the Gold Coast, they've taken it. Some good footy out there. Adrian Vowles with the dummy. He draws the fullback. Nice ball for David Bouvang.
Wayne Bartram from a wide angle. Didn't look too bad off the boot, but it's just wide. But Gold Coast Seagulls lead Newcastle 6-0. In Newcastle's area, a touch judge is in for a late tackle on Coleman. Coleman is still down.
Craig Coleman, I think he knows the penalty's on, but he's still feeling this late hit. Well, well done, Tugger. You may have got your side another 2 points.
This is where he had his first shot at goal from, and he misses this one. So there's no addition to the scoreline, but the ball went dead, so Gold Coast will get it back. Kick from Andrew Johns, fielded by Scarden. Robert Tocco rounded up. Bartram. A busy player, Wayne Bartram. David Woods. That was a good tackle that time from Steve Crow. Coleman away from dummy half. Runs to the defence. Then for Scarden. Bartram is out wide. Bouvang is still with him. He hasn't seen Bouvang on his outside. A look outside, and Bouvang might have been in for his second. The ball comes from Horsnell. Across from Tocco. Put in the air now. Still a chance for the Seagulls. And they come down with a Kempnich it was. And referee Lewis says that this will be the turnover. Well, how close was that? Oh, Jove, he's got some talent, this kid that's playing fullback.
Well, he's done well to leap high and take that one, and I doubt whether he's held there. The ref may have ruled that the ball's gone forward.
Mark Sargent comes away with a furrowed brow, really. He'd be worried as captain that Newcastle find themselves in a deja vu situation. It's happened before here. It looks like it might happen again.
Well, not only is the big Sarge the captain today, I think he has to be the real forward leader out there. You know, the Knights depend on their forwards to get them rolling. He's the man without 3 of their better players on the field today.
Russell Wire plays the ball 42 metres out from the line through Matthew Johns to his brother Andrew. A second man play for Robbie O'Davis. David Smith was running as a decoy. Johns got the pass away. Godden turns it on. Andrew Johns supports. His brother Matthew is there. Kempnich is beaten. He'll go in and score. Matthew Johns. He gets the try for the Knights. A try they desperately needed. 6-4 now. That was a very good try by Newcastle.
Oh, superb play for the Knights. That's come out of nothing, really. The Gold Coast, no problems at all with their defensive line. Maybe they're winging back a little bit too far here. See them popping the ball. Brad Godden there holding it up. Johns in support, a nice step, and then just too quick for Peter Gill and his run for the line. The Knights are back in business.
Another shot of it.
Well, as Fatty would say, it's a Johns-a-thon. They're backing up, they're popping the balls up. Godden to Johns again. A step, and they've got a lot of skill, these boys.
Andrew from near the touchline, but it's well wide. So the Seagulls continue to lead. 6-4 here midway through the first half. He was beaten in defence when the try was scored, Alan Kempnich, who restarts now. But really, that's his first blemish of the game. Everything else he's done has been full of confidence for a debut player. Let's hope that he doesn't. 20 metres out from the Gold Coast line. Adam Muir tries to bump away from the Seagulls defence, but unsuccessful. To the left now for O'Davis. He holds the ball up, gets it to Russell Wire, and Wire scores the try. Beautiful piece of work. And again, I think it was Robbie O'Davis who laid it on.
Russell Wire, I think there, he's downwinded. Who cares? He's got the 4 points. O'Davis is on fire here. The dummy through the hole and pops a nice pass up for Wire. He's got one under the rib cage. Have another look here. So O'Davis does all the lead-up work, senses Wires through the hole.
So the second try in the game for Newcastle, but not the first mark left on the game by Robbie O'Davis. Andrew Johns now from the sideline, and he's just missed it. And the Newcastle Knights with 2 tries to 1. They lead the Gold Coast after 40 minutes. A match that is fairly evenly balanced, though. There's one of the try scorers. We'll be back with more rugby league action in just a moment. Welcome back to the second half of this match from Seagulls Stadium, with Newcastle leading the Gold Coast in a tight one. 8 points to 6, 2 tries to Newcastle, and just the one to the Gold Coast Seagulls, which could have been more. They had their opportunities. But what seems to be some kind of a hoodoo for Newcastle lingers on here. They're doing it tough, although the latter part of the first half saw them certainly get the ascendancy. Sargent leading by example, but nowhere near as strongly as the second rowers. Tracy and Muir have been the best in the forwards. The Johns brothers combining again. They laid on a superb try. The second, or the first of the Newcastle tries. Here's Matthew with it now. Neatly grubbing that ball over towards the corner, but it finds touch. And a Gold Coast player is in trouble in back play.
I think it's... We're going to have another look at that kick here. Matthew Johns. Fine kick into the corner, and a good way to start the second half. Darren Wallen's down hurt, of course, out injured last week. Oh, sorry, in doubt for this game with a wrist injury.
Hoovang with a brilliant run. In and away, made about 25 metres. Eddie Fallon's only made a couple of runs in the game, but both have been quite valuable. The penalty again goes against Newcastle. Well, the Knights are starting to get an embarrassing penalty count against them.
This is Stuart Collins there.
Adrian Vowles with the line finder. Gold Coast trailing by 2 points. Newcastle, as I said at the top of the match, it's a must-win match for them. Being realistic, they're on 10 points on the premiership table. To have any hope of making the 5, they would have to win, you would think, at least 8 matches in the rundown in the second half of the competition. So they can't afford to lose a match that they would have budgeted on winning.
Well, the consensus says 26 points to make the semi-finals. I'd have to agree with that.
Coleman delivering for Tocco. Val supported. Robbie O'Davis comes away. The crowd groaned. Maybe they felt, and maybe they're right, that one of the Seagulls players was taken out, not in possession.
Well, Kemnitz screamed at the ref. He didn't have a chance really to catch that footy. Newcastle Knights player all over him. Here we see him backing up this short pass here. Just as he tries to catch it, he's being tackled. Rightfully so. Should have been a penalty to the Gulls.
Sargent. That's Muir. Sun sinking at Seagulls, and you wouldn't like to know, as is often the case, straight into the eyes. Makes things just that little bit more difficult. The bounce favourable for Robin Thorne. Away from his own 20-metre line. Good strong run. And equally strong was the defence, but one of the Knights appears to be injured. It was Robbie McCormack, but he's okay now. Penalty to the Seagulls. His penalty count is now up in the area of 11-3.
Well, they haven't got anything to complain about, have they? 4 or 5 metres in front of referee Mick Lewis. They wonder why they find themselves on the end of ordinary penalty counts each week.
Bouvang. Gill. Woods. David Woods squeezing the pass. Bartram. Probably no need for Gold Coast to panic at this stage. There's plenty of time left on the clock. Another replacement on for them is Jamie Day in jumper 28. Coleman. Long pass. Adrian Vowles leapt into the air to take it. Spectacular stuff. 18 metres out from the line. Coleman again. Scheming and looking for the opening. Trying to put players through the gap. Peter Gill offloads. Kipnett! Kipnett! 10 metres from the line now.
Isn't he quick? Through the hole.
This is the last tackle. Peter Gill puts it on the boot. Ainsko has to take it. Will he get out of there? Ainsko tries hard. He's put away. Line drop out. Brings the crowd to their feet because the Seagulls will get 6 more. Ainsko complains to the referee. Was Adrian came up with a big hit. Played by Crow. McCormack scampers from dummy half to the 10-metre line. Good defence. A tackle that had to be made was made by Wallens. Now, is he? Yes. He didn't mark up directly in front. It's a penalty for Newcastle. Well, Wallens has done everything you would ask of him. He made a tackle that had to be made, but then he didn't have time to mark up directly in front. And McCormack was away from the play of the ball, and Wallens penalised. That's tough luck on this player because, as I say, it was a desperate tackle that he made to stop what might have been a try. And then he has to wear the record of being the man that gave this penalty. Andrew Johns from just 10 metres out. Newcastle leading now by 10 points to 6. John Harvey with some instructions for a replacement.
It's Peter Benson, actually, Ray, who's just found himself back on the coast after a short stint at Canberra.
Restart time again, and a little bit of the old round ball coming out in Brad Godden. Well, Newcastle now, Gary, they must play it safely and then on the last tackle get it down into Gold Coast territory. So the game plan is fairly simple from here on in.
Well, that's the important thing from the Knights' point of view. I can tell you one thing the Gold Coast can do is throw the footy around, and if a couple of the passes stick, they could find themselves over the line. It's not all clear yet for the Knights. There's only 4 points in it. The Seagulls, guarantee you in the last few minutes of this game, are going to throw it all over the joint.
Fantastic piece of work by Mark Sargent there, and equally by Robbie O'Davis, played by McCormack, given by O'Davis, fed by Smith through to Andrew Johns. The kick has got Gold Coast on their heels. Godden went after it with Kempnich, but it goes in touch in goal, and a line dropout indicating it came off the Gold Coast player.
Isn't that beautifully weighted kick there? You see that Kempnich following the ball. He really had to get to the ball before Brad Godden.
Horsnell coming off. And this line dropout has got no depth in it at all. And a great opportunity for the Knights here. Richards turning it back for Matthew Johns, who fends off a would-be and then is taken close to the line by Kempnich. O'Davis through to Andrew Johns, across the face of Sargent. Oh, Russell Wire. Why did he pass?
Russell Butcher on that occasion. Really, he could have almost gone over himself. But he decided to do the right thing, give it to his winger, Jamie Hainscough.
Well, that is carrying mateship a bit too far. Winger scores the try.
The Coast were going nowhere here. And that great long ball from Coleman, he read the Newcastle numbers were short. Vowles to his man, moving up the sideline. And Wayne Bartram, well, he's got the speed of it back there. Hainscough not making too much ground on him.
Sensational passage of rugby league. Coleman's pass, it was like a missile. Vowles did well. Bouvang, look at this tackle. Let's not forget that from the big front rower Sargent.
Well, it doesn't mean much now. We've got the Seagulls back into level of the game with a kick to come.
5 tries for Wayne Bartram for the year. And this young fullback, Alan Kempnich, has been thrown the ball for what more than likely will be a match-winning conversion. What an assignment for a kid who I'm led to believe is on debut today in the top grade. Well, if he kicks this, he won't only be a hero on the coast, he'll be a national hero. He's on the sideline. He's almost in the crowd as he starts his approach. On its way, it's left the boot perfectly. It's a beauty! That's a match-winning kick from the youngster. 12-10 now, the Seagulls.
Can they hang on? Not long to go, Rabs. The young fella's heart, it'd be pumping now. What a great kick.
The shallow restart by the Knights, and Fallons puts his ball back and across. Matthew Johns, Robbie McCormack crosses the halfway, still going. McCormack pulled down 32 metres out. About 15 seconds to go. David Smith kicks to the open spaces. Bouvang, he cleans up, but it's a knock-on. The scrum will barely have time to pack. The siren goes, and the Seagulls, they have won. They played catch-ups for the major part of the day, but they've come from nowhere. 12-10 in favour of the home side.
Final score in first grade. Coast Seagulls 12, Newcastle 10.
12-10 then. An incredible finish. A great try scored by Wayne Bartram. And Adrian Vowles, he really played a very big part in that and many other facets of the game. Adrian Vowles takes out the $1,000 Man of the Match award from MMI Insurance, a big